What's up, you guys, and welcome back to the channel. I know it has been quite a long time since I've been back here because I've kind of been having my focus on some other things. I've been focusing on the other channel that I have, as well as a new side hustle, which I'm going to get into, and which part of this video is actually going to be about. That other side hustle that I've been working on is buying and selling sports cards, and something I used to do. I used to buy them when I was younger, collect them.
Nerd.
When I was younger, I also used to sell them a little bit, but now I'm taking it to the next level, and there will be another video all about it because it has started to be quite profitable. But once again, that's for another video. This video is going to be about one of the platforms that I'm just starting to use. I usually use eBay to sell, but I'm also kind of starting to shift things into Mercari. So I actually buy from Mercari a lot, and I'm going to be shifting to also selling on Mercari. So this review is going to be all about Mercari buying and selling. If you're unfamiliar with Mercari, there are over 20 million users right now, which is quite a bit. And there's some mixed reviews on the Better Business Bureau and Trustpilot, but overall, I'm pretty satisfied, pretty happy with how things work. I'll get in kind of the details here in a minute about how the fees work, how buying goes, how it's a little bit different than eBay. So if you have no idea what I'm talking about when it comes to Mercari, Mercari is an online marketplace and platform for selling a variety of different items, including things like electronics, toys, and apparel. Obviously, sports cards, as I've already mentioned.
That's enough. I think we get it.
One thing is, if you are a big-time seller and you're selling big-time items, it might not be the platform for you because they don't offer protection with shipping for items worth over $200 or more. Let's first talk about Mercari for sellers. Selling on Mercari really only takes a few minutes to get set up, and then you'll be able to sell whatever you want. Some of the prohibited items include anything illegal, medicine, food, weapons, alcohol, tobacco. Obviously, those things are pretty obvious. The main thing that you want to do when you are listing your products is you want to make sure that you take very nice pictures, because that always is going to sell an item much quicker. And also, you're just going to be very descriptive in your description. Include tags at the bottom. So anything related to that product, include it at the bottom. I'll maybe show you in a little bit what that looks like. One drawback to Mercari is the shipping options. It can definitely be a little confusing because they kind of limit you on how you're going to sell an item, because a lot of times the options that I have when I'm going to sell something, the shipping price is a lot more, making it not as attractive maybe to a potential buyer. So that's definitely one thing that's a little tricky with Mercari. Once you sell an item, there's a couple options for how you are going to receive that money then. First thing is there's a direct deposit to your bank account, which you could easily set up. And the other option is an instant pay to a debit card. The other thing is, if you just want to keep that money in your account and use it to buy other things on Mercari, then you can do that as well. Kind of with that said, some of the ways that Mercari accepts money, they accept it through all major credit cards. They accept it through PayPal, Apple Pay, Mercari Credit, Mercari Balance, and actually more recently, through Venmo. Now, Mercari is not just for shipping items too. You can also, if someone is nearby and finds an item of yours, you can also arrange to meet up and deliver it without having to pay that shipping fee. Mercari is available to all people in the United States 18 and older, except for, I believe, 2 states, Alabama and Nebraska, where the minimum age is 19. And there's also Mississippi, where the minimum age is 21. Don't ask me why.
That's weird. That's weird.
So maybe you might be wondering then at the end of the year, how do taxes work? So Mercari is going to generate a Form 1099-K for any seller who meets the threshold requirement for taxes in the calendar year. So this means that if you're making over $600 in sales in a year, then you're going to also have to produce one of those 1099-Ks during your tax filing, but they'll send it to you or you can download it easily. The big question you're probably thinking about is, how much do they charge in fees? Because this is where these platforms tend to kind of take your money away from you. So let's talk about that real quickly. There are no listing fees when it comes to Mercari. So you don't pay anything to list your item. What you do pay is a final sale price of 10%. So if you sell an item for $10, you're going to pay $1 in that fee. Also, more recently added in 2023 was a payment processing fee of 2.9%. So you add that into it, so now you're at about 13%. And then the last thing is a 50 cent per sale. So they're going to also add that 50 cents into the sale. So you can see those fees do add up. If you're just selling something real cheap, it's gonna really cut into your costs. All right, so let's do an example of what this really looks like when you sell an item. So let's pretend that you're gonna sell an item for $50. So what you do is you take 50 times that 10%, and that's gonna give you $5. So right now, you sold an item for $50, you're down to $45 after the 10% is taken. And then there's a payment processing fee of $1.95 because you need to take the $50 times 0.029, that 2.9%, plus the 50 cents that we mentioned per sale. And so that leaves you with $1.95 as well that they're gonna take off of the final price. So I'll let you do the math a little bit to figure out what that actually means. You're gonna take in profit, but I'll then also add it on here on the screen so that you can easily see for yourself. So when it comes to really maximizing the amount of money that you're gonna make with Mercari, there's a couple things I just want you to consider here. These tips kind of helped me. So number one, you wanna make sure you're pricing items competitively. You may overprice your items to make more profit, but keep in mind that overpriced items likely won't sell because buyers aren't gonna be interested in them. Number two, you want to make sure you boost your profile. What that means is you may earn buyers' trust by ensuring your profile is updated and verified. One thing I actually need to do, I need to verify. There's two other things I need to do, my ID and phone number, which I'll eventually do. Third, you want to make sure you're going to take good pictures of your item. That's just going to draw the attention to your item. It's going to allow the person who might be interested in your product to buy it. You also want to make sure you're shipping out quickly. Now, you have 3 days to send out an item once the item is bought, but I recommend doing it within 24 hours, get it shipped out as soon as you possibly can. I tend to ask a lot of questions, so the next tip is to make sure you're responsive. When someone sends you a message, make sure you have your alerts set up on your phone so you can quickly respond to their message. Also be courteous because people are looking for you to be nice and they're gonna read your reviews, and if it says that you were great to work with, then you're gonna get more sales. Lastly, you wanna make sure you're gonna find the right items to sell. For me, I've found certain sports cards, and I talked about that earlier, and getting them graded, which is what I do. I also sell them raw as well, where they're not graded, but finding the right players for me is what I do. But for you, whatever you sell, make sure you find a product that you know is gonna sell. So I'm gonna go ahead and I will make sure that I put a link to sign up to create your own Mercari account in the comments, in the description as well, but I will make sure that I pin it in the comments below. Once you click that, it's very easy to sign up and follow the process. You might even want to link it with your Facebook account. You don't have to. You'll need to verify your phone number, create your username. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're going to create a password. And once you've verified all that information, you're ready to go. Remember, you will need to add a credit card or PayPal or Venmo or some way for you to be able to get paid, also to be able to buy things as well. You want to have that credit card or PayPal or Venmo, whatever you want to link to the account so that it can draw the money from it. I've tried eBay, Poshmark, and now Mercari. There's also OfferUp. I really am starting to like Mercari. There's things I like about eBay. They're similar in price as far as fees that are taken out. But one thing I like about Mercari over eBay is that there's no bidding involved. It's literally you set the price. People can send you offers. You're willing to say yes or no to those offers, but it's pretty black and white when it comes to how you're gonna sell the item or how you're gonna buy the item. There's no waiting on an auction, that type of thing. I like it better than Poshmark because the fees aren't nearly as high as Poshmark. I believe it's 20% on Poshmark. The search tools for Mercari are definitely better as well. When I put in a search in Poshmark, I don't always get what I want, but I find that Mercari, it's pretty direct and it gets me to the product that I'm searching for, which is nice whenever, especially when you're going to buy something. So real quickly, let's talk about pros and cons. I'm not going to be very brief with this because I've already kind of mentioned it before, but a couple pros. It's highly rated on the App Store and Google Play. Mixed reviews on Better Business Bureau, as we already mentioned. There's protection for sellers and buyers, which is always a plus. There's competitive seller fees, as we've mentioned, and there's definitely plenty of active users. So we said there's over 20 million users on it, so you have a lot of potential buyers. When it comes to cons, that big ticket item is definitely the one thing. If you have something really expensive to sell, it might not be the platform for you. The confusing shipping options are definitely something you want to consider as you are looking to sell. Once you get acquainted with it, it's much easier, but it is a little confusing at first. The only other thing is the return policy. You might find that some people tend to abuse it and it's a little hard maybe at times, but if you're taking good pictures and you are utilizing everything that you have in your descriptions, you should be fine. It shouldn't be a problem. That's all I have for you today about Mercari. Please, if you have any questions about Mercari and you just want to drop them in the comments, please do so. I do my best to try to respond to everyone who does that. Remember, I have a link, so just click that link when you make your first sale or when you buy something, maybe a little kickback for yourself, also myself as well. So that definitely helps out this channel as we're trying to grow this channel and hopefully bring a lot of value to you. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more content related to all things side hustles, budgets, investing, and I'll see you in the next video.